How's it going? Very beautiful. As you can see, about a year ago, I went to Hawaii for the first time by myself. Barely even had a plan. I went there with $400 and I stayed at various hostels and places where you can work to stay for free. After the first week, I got bored of the hostel I was at and I met these two guys named Brandon and Plasma. We were sitting on this deck in front of the ocean and they were playing guitar. I always gravitate towards music. Like if there's a street performer or someone playing an instrument, you probably find me around that person. Anyway, so I like these guys and they told me if I ever needed a place to stay to hit them up, right? So I left the place I was staying and I had nowhere to go. And I messaged Brandon and I said, hey, I'm taking your offer. I want to stay with you guys wherever it is. So I ended up sleeping on a bench that night because they weren't there yet. I slept on a bench in the rain for the first time. I've always had a home. I never had to sleep outside like that, so that was a pretty new experience. Anyway, the next day, Brandon comes and well, both of them come and they pick me up in this pickup truck. But there was no room to sit in the truck, so I had to sit in the bed of the truck, which is fine, but we were going on a highway, so they were driving like 60 miles per hour and I'm just sitting in the back of this bed of this truck, right? And I remember thinking to myself, if they crash right now, I will die. Like I'm in a position where I could just cease to exist in this body. And at first it was a little scary to think that. And then I was realizing, or not realizing, I was gathering faith. You know, I've always had a connection with life. A lot of people call it God. I like to call it God sometimes, but it's really just a faith in the higher order of things, that everything happens for a reason. And I started leaning into that. And then I closed my eyes while I'm in the bed of the truck going 60 miles per hour, and I relaxed. I fully relaxed. And in that moment of being in that situation and relaxing and having faith in a moment where it feels like there's a risk, I felt the most peace and empowerment I felt supercharged with energy. Now, the reason I'm telling you the story is because I was reminded of it just now. I was thinking of today, I went snowboarding and I was riding on the ski lift, and there was a part of the ski lift where it was like 50 feet, 60 feet off the ground, maybe more. And I was just looking down, I was like, whoa, if I fall, that would not be good. I would probably die or something. And I got that feeling again. I got that feeling and then I did the same thing. I relaxed, I closed my eyes and I had faith, and the same phenomena happened. I had the supercharge of energy, the peace. And this isn't the main thing, really. This kind of applies to everything. I'm just bringing up moments that I can remember of like an extreme surrender. Not an extreme, really. I've had much more extreme surrendering moments than that. But I just think there's a power in it. It's possibly one of the deepest powers that we have access to is surrender. And really, to overcome fear, what does that take? I think the first step is to figure out what you're afraid of. So for example, if I'm sitting in the ski lift and I see the fall, why am I scared of it? What am I scared of? And I came to the conclusion that I was scared of pain. Now me personally, I'm not scared of the unknown. I'm not scared of death. And I don't think I'm scared of pain anymore. But if I do, then I'll tell you. If the moment comes about. And how did I get to this moment or this place of fearlessness? Because it's pretty new to me. In the past, like it's a continual thing. Like I keep having to face more and more fears. I faced my own death. I've faced many things. Mostly the big ones were facing my own death and experiencing surrender in various situations. But I thought of a quote the other day, and it says, "The end of fear is the beginning of freedom." So I can't really tell you how to get rid of your fear because I don't know. All I know is that you can, and I know that I did. And how I did it was by facing my fears. And I know that sounds simple because it is, but it's very powerful. And I think the world would be a better place if all of us reached a place of fearlessness and freedom within ourselves. If I'm a little shaky, it's because it's so cold. It's very cold. Anyway, for the past week or so, I keep telling myself I'm done being afraid. And it's not even like, it doesn't even really feel like a choice in a sense. And the more I let go, in a sense, the more I trust the higher order of things, the plan, I like to call it, which I have had glimpses of. I have seen glimpses of the plan, the perfect plan, the blueprint behind this whole experience, if you will. And I'm just trusting it. It's irrational for me to trust it because I have no proof. I don't have the manuscript. The more I let go of my fear, of my anticipation, and allow myself to freely enjoy the present moment for no reason other than because it feels right. And I have a feeling that the more I do that, the more it's gonna open up. It's like growing up. Some people, they stop developing, but I don't intend on that. But here's the thing. I'm not forcing it. I'm not brute forcing, trying to just grow, learn. No, it's actually the opposite. I'm letting go, releasing. And as I release and let go, I find an openness, which in turn invites a space for growth, creates a space for growth. But it's not effort. There is no effort. Anyway, I'm done being afraid. I'm ready to enjoy my life, and I hope you feel the same. So thank you for sharing this moment, and I hope to see you again in the future.